Gabby.
The following is a presentation of the Belly Up Sports Media Network.
All right, what is up, fight fans? We are back for another episode here on the Belly Up Sports Network. I'm your host, Stephen Rochelle. This is Combat Deviants, episode 29, and we already have our first guest of the evening with us, Miss Gabby Alvarado, or Avocado. You call yourself the Avocado Princess. So, first and foremost, appreciate the time tonight. You know, been seeing your tweets. You've been looking like you've been chomping at the bit to get back into action. Obviously, there's a lot of crazy stuff going on in the combat sports world. We're gonna touch on a few subjects, to talk a little bit about Gabby's career, her aspirations, what she would like to do in 2023 and moving forward. This episode is brought to you by Manscaped, guys. Make sure you head over there, take care of your boys. Use that belly up code and clean up the fellas so they're nice when your lady friends go down in that area. That being said, episode 29 is underway. Gabby, appreciate the time. Give everyone a quick little intro, like who you are in the combat sports world as we sit here today.
Okay, so I'm Gabby Avocado Arevalo, and I am a strawweight MMA fighter. Right now, I'm currently 1-1 in MMA and then 0-2 in kickboxing and Muay Thai. And I just recently made my first little comeback after 4 years. So it's really exciting, and I'm going on a bunch of little vacations to go train and stuff. It's looking really good right now.
Are you getting some mini camps in there before we get the next fight in this year? Any destination places? Are we going to Colorado to work with some girls up there? I know there's a lot of girls around your weight class getting into it up there. I think Miranda Maverick and her sister are up there right now. You with a bunch of other people. Obviously, you're from that West Coast area. Obviously, there's some gyms down there in Vegas that are pretty big too. Where do you typically like to go when you set up your camps?
So right now I live in Sparks, Nevada. So I train with my gym, Combat Sports and Fitness, constantly. But my coach, Zeus Roberto, he's gonna have me start going with him to Sacramento to go train with Chris Holdsworth. Every once in a while we hit up there to go cross train, and then actually on Easter, so literally Sunday, we're gonna be going down to Vegas with our team to go train at Extreme Couture, at Cobra Hina, and all those different little gyms over there. And so it's super exciting. I just want to cross train and really just kind of see what more I can improve.
Soak up. Yeah, people don't. People always think there's this misconception with fans, like the progression between fighters is what happens when they go into the cage, but all the work's done in the gym. It's not in the cage. The cage is where you get to show off.
Exactly.
But I mean, going on with the news and combat sports, what are your thoughts on Endeavor buying out WWE? I just had Eric Anders on Wednesday night, got his thoughts on it. Let me get another perspective on it. How do you feel? Do you feel like we're gonna start seeing athletes interchange progressively?
Yeah, I think there's going to be a lot of intertwining. It's going to be a little cool. It would be cool for them to start adapting to the WWE type of walkouts, a lot more fun. That's one thing I like. I just
grew up away from when they started the uniforms, they took the whole walkout away from us.
Yeah, literally. I love the individuality and the fun costumes with WWE. a lot of people are like, yeah, you can definitely tell that Gabby watched way too much WWE when she was a kid, and it's like you
There's
can see a
nothing
little
wrong with that. Like people forget, like when Dana really blew this up, he sit down there and had business meetings with who? Oh, Vince McMahon. That's right. Like you don't act like this isn't like there's not an intertwined thing. Like when Brock officially came to the UFC, you don't think that he was still under contract at WWE and him and Dana, had gentleman's agreement. We're gonna let him go do his thing. Eventually, that they made it to the point where there was a sharing thing going on with them. I mean, there's always a relationship between wrestling and the UFC going all the way back to Ken Shamrock. So like it's not like an odd thing. I just think it's going to be on a larger scale, in the simple fact where you have some of these athletes who do have that gift of gab. You see a Colby Covington, like as much as people are hating on the man now for his adaptation to what Chael Sonnen did with the picking up that heel role, and like literally is almost his style to a T. It's just I think Kobe's a little bit more over the top than Chael was. With his,
he really sells it so well.
I've interviewed him beforehand. Like literally, he unfollowed me, stopped talking to me, like stopped doing interviews with me because he went through that whole chain.
Oh.
Don't understand it. Don't have any bad things to really say about him. I just thought it was weird that all of a sudden now, like, we're not going to have conversations anymore. But either way, don't have any ill will towards the guy. It's just he's buying in. He's going in all the way into his persona. Who's to sit there and say when he just can't do it as a fighter, or maybe he feels like he can maximize what he's done with his character and go to the WWE when his UFC contract over. He just has to talk to somebody, tell Dana like, hey, I need to talk to the WWE board guy. He's in the same room. You talk to him, let him know to hit me up, or whoever. Like you never know. Like you never know if we see Izzy's fighting this weekend. You never know if he might in a year or two say, you know what, maybe I'm gonna do a year or two as as a wrestler. See how fun that is. Everyone. It's just there's opportunities where it's easier for some of these guys to have these conversations now.
Yeah,
and we've even said it where sometimes like this guy isn't really suited for MMA. Maybe he should be in the WWE. Well, maybe we don't have those situations where we're struggling with a guy who sells but doesn't have the talent to back it up, and you can go to a place where it makes sense.
Exactly.
I just think it's a unique opportunity for everyone. I'm waiting to see where everyone's saying there's a bad part of it. Like are they going to keep Triple H in place and let him continue to run things the way a lot of people feel like that he should get a few years unimpeded before they bail on him and rip him out of what he's trying to do. He's already had Vince try to do it already once, and now he has the sale coming, which could potentially do it again.
Man, I love me some Triple H.
Now, what's that?
Oh, I said I'm really excited for it. It's gonna be super entertaining.
Right? Are you looking forward to the WrestleMania next year after this past one?
Yes. I was watching it. I haven't watched it in a while. Like I haven't watched like a lot of the wrestling in a while just because I've been working and like doing my fight camp stuff. But I actually like sat down with my mom to like watch it a little bit, and my brother and my dad, they're like, "Did you watch this match? Did you watch this one?" Because I haven't watched it in like a while. I just haven't like caught up with it. My dad and my little brother are like, "You're behind. You're so behind." Like I was like into it with like the Hardy Boys and Lita, like all like really back in the day type of stuff. So
the end of the Attitude Extreme era, whatever you want to call it. That's kind of, I think, the era that everyone kind of really loves more than anyone other when you talk about pro wrestling. Yeah, everyone talks about the TV wars with WCW and WWF at the time, but
Mm-hmm.
I think after that, the merger and some of the stuff that came after that was probably some of the more exciting stuff that
Mm-hmm.
happened in that era. Rock Austin, some of that stuff that the run up they did to that was really cool. I mean, obviously, the Cena era was good, but everyone loved DX. Everyone, loved
Mm-hmm.
the trio you're just talking about when they
Yeah.
had the Hardy Boys, and then what came with which Edge and Christian, which who came out of the what they factioned them out to the Brood or whatever it was. Everyone had fun little characters at that time from
Mm-hmm.
everything that folded in when WWE took in WCW, ECW, all that, and they really became the wrestling promotion, killed the TV wars, so to speak, and everything like that. But now we're seeing a resurgence of AEW finally, like after 15 years, you're finally getting some type of other competition out there. So it'll be interesting to see if they'll do the same thing. Because if you
Mm-hmm.
notice, that's kind of the same thing the UFC did about
Yeah.
10, 15 years ago. Took out Pride, took out Strike Force. They took in Elite X just to grab a couple fighters' contracts in
Mm-hmm.
reality in their video library. But that was a lot of cases for them was acquiring the rights to the videos was more the reason for them to buying those companies than it was to actually do anything else.
Mm-hmm. I'm
People
like,
tend to forget about that. Like that was kind of one of the bigger parts of that.
mm-hmm.
You think we'll ever see that again? Obviously BKFC is kind of the new sport within combat sports. You think we'll
Mm-hmm.
see a point where 5-10 years now we'll see either BKFC or BYB Extreme or BKB wind up trying to swallow each other to become one promotion?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I can definitely see it. I'm like, oh gosh. I feel like I don't know, like I feel like all of Bare Knuckles gonna merge into one. And then I feel like ONE FC might merge into like another promotion as well. Like, oh my
Well,
gosh.
they really have a foothold over that side of the mat, not just in their home base, but just in the UK in general. They have a foothold over there.
Mm-hmm.
So I think where they're at in reality, if they put the right marketing plan, they can come and start doing some things over in the United States, but they just haven't built out their card rosters out to the point where they can go and do that. Having one or two named guys that can do it just can't be done yet. What
Mm-hmm.
they have to do is just wait for a bunch of these guys to leave the UFC maybe and not go to BKFC and not go to Bellator, be able to pick them up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like, oof. There's a
But I
lot of
don't see that
like
happening.
freelance fighters or like free agent fighters now, and I'm just like, oh, it's so cool, like finally seeing them like fight in different things. I'm like, oh, I always love watching Mike Perry like fight bare knuckle. I'm like, so exciting.
You looking forward to the next one?
Yes, I'm really excited for it. One of
Him
my
and Luke should be fun. I mean, I Luke was always more of a Muay Thai fighter than a boxer to me, so I'm interested to see how that's gonna play out. Obviously,
Mhm.
he's a bigger guy, but I think the more exciting one on that card has to be Eddie Alvarez and Chad Mendez.
Mhm.
I mean, that's
It's all gonna be really exciting. Oh my gosh! And one of my teammates is actually like gonna be fighting on that as well. It's like her first bare knuckle fight, and we're like, oh my god, like scary. I'm like, but
is that
it's
something you're sitting there saying scary? So obviously, as you're getting ready to kind of really take your embarkment into your pro career,
Mhm.
I don't think bare knuckles are on the list anytime soon, right?
Oh hell no! Like I bruise so easily in fights, so I'm just like, oh, that's with MMA gloves. My face would get torn up. My mom would be like, "You're oh, don't do that." Like my mom always is like, "Make sure
You
your
never
face
know.
stays up."
Like you could be looking back in some 10 years, be like, I really felt that way. Holy crap!
Yeah.
Like I said, you love the sport of MMA right now. You haven't gotten to the part where you fall in love with aspects of it, and you never know. You might get into the point where your striking gets to the point, 5, 10 years from now, where you'd be like, you know what, I might take a fight if the money's right.
Yeah, literally.
Well, I mean, obviously, the news came out this week. Dave Feldman said Ngannou's asking for unrealistic money.
Mm-hmm.
And he's already been offered multiple boxing fights, and it seemed like money was the issue again. There was the reason why contracts weren't signed. So, what is the Francis asking for that people think is unworthy? Do we not think he's one of the best pound for pound fighters on the planet at his weight class? He probably is. I think without a doubt, he has to be the top 3, regardless if we're talking boxing or MMA as a heavyweight, right?
Mm-hmm. That's a big boy.
So,
great.
I mean, do you think he's a draw? I think that's what the real argument is for what he was asking, because memory serves me, he wasn't asking more than like $10 million to do the Jones fight.
Mm-hmm. I think that's totally fair. That's totally fair. Completely. Like, if you're going to fight John Jones, get 10 million.
But he wasn't even asking for that. The things of why that didn't happen is because of the other stuff, the fighter stuff that needed to happen.
Mm-hmm.
And as much as you can have 1 or 2 or 3 guys bang on that door, maybe even 10 guys, as long as you don't get all the fighters on the same page, it's never going to happen.
Mm-hmm. Oof.
So, like, yeah, Francis did what he did, and a lot of people liked what he did. Some people felt like he did himself a disservice. Well, the what ifs about are going to be what about him. Then you have people sitting there saying he's scared, which is the funniest thing you could ever come up with at this point in time. It's just basic PR nonsense. But then you also see, all right, well, then, you have Nate Diaz, and looks like a fight with him and Logan Paul just kind of fell through.
Mm-hmm.
Where do you think these guys wind up in the next 6 months to a year?
Oh, gosh. I'm not even sure. Like, Francis Ngannou, I think he definitely might do a boxing one. I think he would do so good in boxing, honestly. Like, bare knuckle would be fun, but I feel like he would do more boxing, to be honest. And then I do want to. Isn't Logan Paul doing an MMA fight?
Jake Paul is actually at PFL tonight, getting ready to promote, I think, his first MMA fight. But I think you're right. Logan did say he was looking to do an MMA fight next, but he's also, I think, he's still trying to heal up from his knee from WWE too.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, you just had Jake taking the L from Little Fury, so you don't really know what's next. I mean, I think Jake probably should look to do some MMA right now. I think Logan, he was already getting a nice little push from the WWE before he hurt his knee. I think he should stick with that. I don't think he should go and try to play around with doing MMA right now. I think he should heal his knee and get back to wrestling with the WWE. But that's just me. I mean, you don't know what is fueling him right now. He just remember his drink company just signed an endorsement deal with the UFC recently too. So
yeah, the Prime.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Listen, you can say what you want. You can hate these guys for a lot of reasons, but Logan actually is one of the ones you can't really say too much negative about. Jake maybe has unrealistic views of what his combat sports career is going to be. Where Logan, it looks like he's maximizing everything he could possibly do.
He's always like, I've used to watch him during like his early little like Vine videos and stuff like that, and he just like really took it all the way, like compared to all other YouTubers. Like, he really sells it, and he just knows how to like brand himself really, really good. I just remember them like running around in their like little wrestling singlets on Vine, and now they're like doing MMA fights and doing all this crazy stuff. It's pretty cool. It's cool watching it all.
It's crazy how much the sport changes, right?
It's so nuts because you're like, oh, these are YouTubers. They're not gonna do much. Like, what are they gonna do? And they're like millionaires now. It's crazy.
So we're getting closer to Easter weekend. So I want to say a happy Easter, everyone. What do you get? What are your plans for this weekend? What are you getting into?
Oh, I'm gonna be driving to Vegas on Easter. We're gonna be leaving in the morning to go to Vegas for our traincation.
Say traincation. You
The
got to
train.
slip that one in there, right?
Yeah.
I'm going on vacation, but I'm also training at the same time. So
Yeah, it's like I'm getting messed up in Vegas. It's like I'm gonna get beat up like all day. Everyone's like, "Oh, you going to party? You going to drink?" I'm like, "Yeah, kinda, sorta."
yeah, that's gonna be funny. I want to see some videos of some of the morning sessions you getting your ass kicked at while being fucking hammered from the night
Oh,
before.
I'm literally like 120 pounds. Like I have like the alcohol tolerance of like a newborn baby. Like I'll wake up like demolished like completely. So I'm like, oh hell no. We're going with like a bunch of like 21-year-old like teammates too. And then me, my coach, and my fiance are like, yeah, we're just gonna go on our food tour and then go train. I don't want to go train in the Vegas heat all hungover. That is miserable.
Yeah, I don't see how you're not going to get away with at least one of your training sessions happening like that.
I know. Oh my gosh. I'm like, all the boys are like, we're gonna go train and we're gonna party. And I was like, okay. I'm like, there's gonna be a few people missing the next morning during training. It's gonna be hilarious. Oh my gosh. It's gonna be fun though. I'm really excited. Oof. Oh, look. Proud of you, Gabby. Oh, that's me. Oh my gosh.
But now I wanted to get into some of these other questions. Now, obviously, you're young in your combat sports career. Who are some of those people you would consider on everyone likes to say their GOAT list. I like to say our combat sports Mount Rushmore. Because everyone always has arguments. You can add men and women into this category. Obviously, everyone wants to break it down per weight class. I still think that's the true way to do it, because that's the way it really works at the end of the day. Because you can't, one, you have this sport that has grown so much where you still have to have developing weight classes for women, where men kind of there is no real weight class that you need to put in anymore. Everything's kind of unified. So.
Yeah.
And then there you have the thing where I still say it goes from era to era. Everyone has their places in the sport, but I still say Mount Rushmore is kind of the I think the fairest way to do it. Who's your top five? I guess combat sports idols. Things you think are relevant to combat sports.
Okay. Alrighty. I'm gonna go off like a girl's Mount Rushmore because I'm a girl and I love the girl fighters. I always joke around. I'm like, oh, the girl fighters, like I love being a girl, like. But I would have to say, like, there's a lot of really good ones. And there's so many girl fighters now. It's so crazy. It's
yeah, I mean, it's funny. Like when you talked about what it was 5 years ago, 6 years ago, it was like you knew it was like, all right, it's gonna be like. Tara LaRosa, it's going to be Julie Kedzie, it was going to be Chris Cyborg, Gina Carano, and Ronda Rousey. That was it. There was no one else. Now it's like that whole Mount Rushmore doesn't exist anymore.
It's so crazy. It's changed. It changes up a lot. It's so,
and that's why I say like you can't do it by that, because there's eras that's when both men's MMA and women's MMA kind of got their tipping off point and started to really take off. There was guys and girls that predates that were very important to get them there.
Exactly.
And then obviously when the sport became mainstream, and then when it got to the UFC, obviously for the women is another one. Like then once the Rousey era had ended, like it's kind of really blown off, and you could honestly say that like Ronda might not even be in the top 3 bantamweights in her greatest division anymore.
It's so crazy. And like there's even people who have like been beaten by like Ronda and they've gotten really good. Like I loved watching Misha come back too. That was really fun. That was super
but
exciting.
she's also got to the point. But I always say that there's veterans that get to the point where they were waiting for their fight IQ to catch up with their body and catch up with their skill set. Sometimes the fighter never gets to kind of meet that perfect round where their fight IQ plus having some of that veteran knowledge of being in there with that, having those big title fights, having those big pressure situations, etc. Some of those things all play into it, and then after some of those experiences, then you really become kind of like on the geek side of things. That's when you become that Jedi MMA fighter. You really know the ins out of it. You could be fighting one week and cornering one of your teammates for a title fight the next week, just because that's how well versed you are in your game.
Exactly. It's so cool watching it. Like I think one of those types of people I would like say would be like that is like Angela Hill. Like when she first started, they're like, she's really new, and then now she's like just beating up like all like even like the fights like she loses, she does so good, and it's just so cool seeing like her fight.
Her thing is like you're so frustrated because like she holds back sometimes, and it's like let it fly, Angela. Like, what are you doing?
I just love watching. I'm like, oh
yeah, she's really fun to watch. She's really fun to watch. Really important for that early development of that weight class. People don't understand. Like no one wanted that weight class. No one wanted that weight class.
Oh, so exciting.
Like I remember when we were talking to everyone, like all the fans talking on Twitter and Reddit and all that stuff. Like, why are the UFC bringing in these women from Invicta? We don't need these weight classes. We don't need this. We don't need that. Right? Could you imagine if they didn't bring in the flyweights and the strawweights for after that?
It would be so boring. Like I have to say, like those strawweight fights are so entertaining. It's like such a deep pool too. There's just a lot of
been able to see Valentina's run. Like
it's
the
so
matchup with her trying to go up and grab a second belt and trying to beat Amanda. Like you don't have that. You don't have the Joanna, the early run of Joanna was important too. I mean, obviously, I still think Rose kind of stole all that from all of them because everyone would always doubt her, and then she would always find a way in those big fights to come up with big wins. Stopping Joanna, stopping Wee. I mean, obviously, she has problems with those wrestlers who like the point fight, and it's always been an issue. Carla steals the belt from her. Then Carla doesn't really get a chance to defend it. But I was glad to see Carla win it because she's won. She's literally won at every level.
Oh, I love watching Carla's wrestling.
Somebody where it pays off like that.
Yeah. Oof, man.
It's kind of like the Forrest Griffin payoff. It's somebody like you kind of know they're not going to be champion forever, but you're glad to see that they at least climbed to the top of the mountain and got there.
Yeah, it was really nice too, because like that Carla losing the belt and then seeing her like climb up to get that belt again. It was a little sad to watch her lose again, but it was like okay. But it was nice to see. Like I feel that way every time. The strawweight belt always stresses me out because it goes all over the place, and then I'm like, I want you to win, and then I want you because I like Whaley, I love Joanna, I love Rose, like I just love all of them, and it's just like I'm happy but sad whoever wins it and keeps it.
That's the thing. Like even we talk about the big wins of Rose has. She hasn't had it for more than 2 or 3 fights.
Oh, yeah. That thing goes
I think
around.
this last one was probably her shortest run. The first one was her best. But I mean, ain't no shame. You know, Rose, you know, has to be one of those people that you mentioned that's on that Mount Rushmore, right?
She is definitely on my Mount Rushmore. Okay, so let's go over it real quick.
You said
So
Angel the first.
yeah, like okay, we got the first. We got Rose. I like Rhonda for like the pioneerness of bringing it to popularity and stuff. Like
Bringing it mainstream.
yeah, making it doing it all, paving the road. And then I definitely love Joanna. Joanna was a really good champ, a great champ, and I love watching her fight. And who else?
Her weigh-ins used to crack me up.
Uh-huh.
Like you know, like she was being serious, trying to like throw her opponent off. But I'm sorry, there's some of the stuff I couldn't help but laugh at. I'm like, really?
Uh-huh. Like, oh, when she would like throw cookies at Carla and then like throw necklaces at Jessica Penne. And I'm like, oh man. I was like I'm like one of those types of people where I'm like, I can't talk shit to people. But it was just always so funny watching her do that. I'm like, oh my gosh, it was great. And then Valentina. Valentina's a really good one because she's been fighting forever. And she's just so skilled. And I loved watching her run. I'm like, oof, that was so good. I loved watching that fight with her and Alexa Grasso. It was really good.
I already said, man, one simple mistake, and like it was like almost that Demetrius Mighty Mouse Johnson moment when like you see like it was something he was drilling and drilling and drilling. I don't know if you noticed, but like Valentina started to getting lazy with that spinning back kick, not resetting herself immediately. You have somebody who is quick and has that grappling game the way that Alexa has. You can't do something like that where you leave her back exposed to them, and she just backpacked her. Took her down the ground and wound up winning the belt. I have no problem with that. That was like allowing Ronda to get inside of your general area and not making her pay for punches early on. But that's how that worked out. But getting up against it, our next guest is in the back here. What I typically do here at the end, Gabby, is kind of throw the proverbial microphone over you. Anyone you want to thank, training partners, teammates, shoot at the social media sites, any sponsors you're working with, anything you want to let the people know, the time is yours, my friend.
Okay, awesome. I want to thank all my teammates at Combat Sports and Fitness and my coaches for helping me get through this fight camp and do cool shit. I didn't strike, but I'm so sorry. I wrestled that time. I want to give a shout out to my sponsors, Just Heart Apparel, Tasha, and oh God, who else sponsored me? Steven, my bodywork guy, and Master Plumbing. You guys are all awesome. I hope I did not forget anyone. Oh, the Fighting Now. I got the Fighting Now. I don't have my list in front of me. Okay, yeah, and that's all I'm doing. No fight scheduled yet. Hopefully in the fall. Yeah.
All right, Gabby. Appreciate the time. We'll definitely get you back on here when you get something scheduled. Talk some fights.
Yeah.
Maybe do a live reaction to some fights and have some fun on here. All right.
Okay. Awesome. Alrighty. See
All
you
right,
later.
Gabby. All right, everyone. That was Gabby Avocado Alvarado, and we are now going to be joined by our second guest of the evening. He is Bellator heavyweight Mr. Rakim, the Booogeyman, Cleveland. How are we doing tonight, my friend?
I'm doing good, man. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. You know, flying solo tonight. You know, my co-host and producer was having some family issues, but we still gonna have some fun tonight. Got to talk about that win, man. That was beautiful. The standing guillotine. You know, ruin homeboys debut. Got a big win under your belt. How excited are you for that one, my friend?
Man, that was a big win. That guillotine was something we planned for. This entire really fight camp. Just display my grappling, my jiu-jitsu. We knew he was going to come out and try something new, and I mean, it played right into our hands.
Yeah, man, I thought it was funny. I was looking it up on Tapology. They're like it was like 5-finger guillotine. I'm like, wait, what? 10-finger guillotine? What is this? It's just a standing guillotine. Tapology be out of control with some of the descriptions sometimes.
No, yeah, it was a 10 finger guillotine. It wasn't your traditional guillotine. It was more of a gable grip lock. Other than fishing my arm all the way through, it's just a little bit different pressure. Um, it's a little tighter. You can adjust a little more as he was squirming around. I was able to adjust and keep it tight. And man, that's a brutal choke to get caught in if you get caught against the fence like he was too.
He got nowhere to run to. That's what he was trying to do. He was trying to find somewhere to go to get the pressure off. To try to
Yeah,
slip out. He couldn't do it. You're
I
like,
had
oh
him
no. He was trying to get out. You're like, no, 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 no. You're gonna go to sleep right here.
for for sure. Had him bent over like a fishing pole. Huh?
Hey man, it's one that you can add to the highlight reel, man. I know you're excited. You know got that first win in Bellator. Uh, is that important to upset him, get on the winning ways, to start looking forward to some big things in 2023?
Oh, for sure, man. That was a big win for me. Especially somebody that they're kind of grooming um, all the way through his career. His whole entire career's been with Bellator. So, definitely a big win for me. And I was kind of thrown off that I was such a big underdog, but I know I made some people some good money that betted on me. So, kudos to them. I'll drop my Venmo. You gotta send me my bonus.
Right. Uh, we had a situation like that last month. Got into it with one of these new UFC guys. So we wound up having his opponent on, and our producer bet on him, right? So afterwards, Josh was going around to everyone. He's like, everyone who made money on my bets, I need my drinks for some shots this weekend.
Yeah, that's right. I need my little percentage, y'all. Go ahead and hook me up
Especially if y'all put bank in.
for sure, for sure.
I mean, listen, it's one of the funny things that we live in this world now. Like I talk about it all the time. We hammer everyone in their mother about betting inside the sports world. We're still holding Pete Rose out of the Hall of Fame. Calvin Ridley was just suspended for a year for betting on himself to win games. You have what was it, the guy up in the Boston Celtics assistant coach. He loses his job because he was betting. When are we going to get to this point where obviously everyone's allowed to bet? It's allowed just about 50 statewide here. Why are we going? When are we going to have at least an honor system put in place where these people who obviously, if me and you are allowed to bet on whatever outside of your fight, why is it you're not allowed to bet on yourself?
Oh man, I just think that betting on yourself, it all comes down to how you bet. Also, if you're betting against yourself, then
Obviously,
obviously,
that's a different story. Like obviously
yeah.
that, yeah.
And I think that's
If
what
one of your cousins knows like, hey, like Keem ain't right for this fight. He taking it. I'm going to run like 6-7K against him.
yeah.
He's not gonna be the dog in this fight. So let's go make some money. That's something that obviously should set off warning flags. Absolutely, I get that. But if you're betting for yourself to win and you win, and then you then lose your athletic license, what just happened to Calvin Ridley, whatever. I have an issue with that because we live in a day and age where you should be able to bet on yourself.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, in
Like,
that
I
in
don't
that
care if you have
circumstance,
to if you want to bet on yourself for this next fight, if you have to go contract the FDA your damn self to say, hey, I'm betting on myself to win this fight. Whatever you have to run through, if you have to have Johnny Bookworm come and follow me around for a week or whatever, fine. I'm placing $5,000 for me to win this belt for this fight, right?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, if you're betting on yourself to win or you're betting on yourself in a good light, then uh, I'm for it all the way through, 100%. I don't see nothing wrong with that.
But I
If
think
you
this thing that just happened with the UFC and Mr. Kraus has kind of really kind of put it in a situation where you can't do that, and it's gonna kind of forever be in this situation.
Yeah, definitely that was brought, that situation was brought to light. You know, it was from what I heard, it was upwards towards the millions that were made in those situations. So that's when, the bookies aren't happy and a little bit of fishy stuff's going on, and now it's a big investigation. But I mean, now that it's said and done, it's going to be barred, for the most part, period. And there's really no looking back because it all comes down to integrity. And everybody has the same integrity when it comes down to stuff like that. So um, I think it'll be easier to, do it how they're doing it now. Remove the betting system completely as far as you being an active fighter. Yeah, you don't need to be betting, especially when you're involved. It'll be the easiest way for them to monitor what's going on and who's doing shady stuff and who's not.
I think like if you're gonna do the way you could probably try to do it is like you can't like if you're an athlete you can't bet on yourself win or lose nor one of your teammates,
Right,
and then from there you kind of weed out all that integrity type of things and maybe be allowed to do some things. But I think once you start, what happened with Kraus is exactly what people worry about, like somebody on the inside of things also doing betting and making money off it, has knowledge of a situation, and instead of just doing the right thing and just probably not making a bet on that at all, knowing
right,
what he did a weak thing. Like it's you not just hurt yourself and your guys because you that was his coach. You hurt your guys, but you hurt everyone involved in the sport and make this sport look like it's dirty when it's really not. You're just a freaking a-hole.
right, right,
I mean, because if you literally think about it, like, I mean, obviously there's going to be scumbags in life, and that's what happens. It doesn't matter if we're talking about combat sports, if we're talking about boxing, if we're talking about the NFL. There's always going to be some asshole that's going to try to make a couple dollars off of something they know that the world doesn't know. There's
right.
always going to be that. There's always going to be that a-hole. That's just the facts of life. But I just think we have to get to the point where if you're going to allow it, you have some type of honor system in place. Do I think that there's people in MMA throwing fights? No, I don't think there is, and not at the highest level. They'd be stupid to get, because you get caught up, you completely run down that whatever promotion that is, and they have no integrity whatsoever, regardless if they're involved or not.
For sure. And then a lot of those people, a lot of us, we're fighting for our livelihoods too. So, that's a tough gamble to take over, making some money on one fight and
Unless
messing up your
somebody's
career.
putting like 10-20 million in your account after you taking one on the chin to drop one down, then no, it's not worth it, because you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know if that's gonna leave some CTE issues or some other physical issues because you were not protecting yourself because you were taking an L.
Right.
Like the sport, and the main thing about the sport, I think, that separates it is because it's about protecting yourself. At the end of the day, the fight continues until you're no longer able to intelligently defend yourself. Period.
Right. No, you're 100% on that. So,
So it's why I think when we talk about like even like I still think the funniest thing is like the NFL is scripted, right? Right, because they
that's what
want
they're
to.
saying, man.
Huh?
That's what they're saying. I don't want to believe that though.
Like we've watched enough NFL, and you're an athlete on that level enough to know. You really think these guys are going to be going out there giving their all if they already know what the frick's going to be happening? Stop. Stop it.
Man, I don't want to talk about that one.
Listen, a lot of us do stuff for money. Let's be honest. Like in life, the green evil dollar rules all. But I still don't think you could get, what would it equate to? What 53 men on each roster to sit there and say this is what the score is going to be at the end of the day? No.
No.
Do I think there are people involved that would like to think that? Yeah, probably.
Oh yeah, all over.
Listen, if that'd be the case, you just have to see the bets and you know what would be going on. But you don't see somebody pulling off those things because there would already be some type of investigation into it.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Any sport that would be dumb enough to do something like that, a sport would be foolish because it completely destroys them, and especially like. NBA, the NFL are so big. Those are two, I think, juggernauts when you talk about professional sports in the United States.
Yeah, I mean, those are some of those things are hard to control. Especially you got so many loose cannons out there too that's going to do their own thing anyway. So might as well not even try.
I mean, and then you also have the fantasy side of things that has kind of ruled over the sports over the last 10 years too, where you're also starting to see that coming along in MMA to some points. Now my question is, I've been asking a lot of this because I've been getting more into the hobbying side of things. We've seen, Tops and all these other companies do UFC cards. When we're going to start seeing Bellator cards, PFL cards, bare knuckle boxing cards, like I think you guys, the other side of combat sports, need as much love as the UFC fighters get. Am I wrong here, or what's going on?
No, you're right, man. I don't know when all that stuff's gonna come out and start happening. It should. I mean, the UFC is only one outlet of millions and millions of fighters that are out there.
Years that the UFC isn't the only game in town. They're the main brand in town, but they become more entertainment than about fighting.
Right.
We see that with the matchups they make, and Dana White has clearly said that we don't go by their rankings, so they don't make fighters banking off of who's the best in your weight class in your promotion. That's not how they do it. They've said it since they became a publicly traded company. He has shareholders that he has to answer to. So that's why I say, that's great. You got that. I still think, Upper Deck, Panini, Tops, somebody should reach out to some of these other promotions and start taking advantage of it. I think it's a market that would be great for, not only the sports and the card world, because how much that has really kind of taken back off after, they told us 10 years ago it was going to be dead. I think it's something to make it more fun for everyone, not just the collectors and fans, but the athletes too.
Yeah, I think there should be, someone that steps up and represents all these other companies out there too. I mean, even organizations like ONE FC, I saw they're one of the most predominantly lucrative organizations out there in sports. Period. I think they were like number 4 or 5 on the top 10 sports. They're higher than the NFL and NBA.
Just talking with Gabby about this, I seriously think if they were able to get a handful of popular fighters here in the United States, regardless if we're talking UFC, Bellator, PFL, bare knuckle boxing, whatever, if they were able to get a handful of guys to spread out throughout a couple weight classes, I think they would do really well here on growing in the United States, and because they have more than a foothold over in the UK, over in Asia, things of that nature, and that's big.
Yeah, for sure. They're definitely a force to be reckoned with, and I mean they're slowly starting to creep into the U.S. They're starting to have some shows here in the U.S. I believe they got a deal with I think it was like TNT or Spike or something like that. That they're showing their fight cards on. The only thing is it's harder to catch because they're on the other side of the world, so the time difference is what kind of messes
Yeah, so
with
like you
them.
don't do it live, but like you could still hold an event, do do whatever you're gonna do for the live event for your viewers there, but then have it air on a prime time over here in the United States. I don't think it's
Right.
that like it hasn't gotten to the point. Like remember when the UFC first used to do that when they fought overseas.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't like a crazy thing. Like you would just have to stay off the internet for a few hours until it aired. But
Right.
they've
Yeah.
also monetized ourselves to a point where it's like you have the UFC Fight Pass, and then now you're having to pay for the pay per view, but then you also have to pay for ESPN Plus so you can watch the undercard fights. Like they've moneyed themselves into a situation where you're going to run off a lot of your fans. So that's why I'm sitting there saying I don't think they don't have the foothold that they had 10 years ago. They aren't
No.
the only show in town with the best fighters in the world. That they are like the best well known company at this point in time. But I think the fact that you let a Francis Ngannou leave, you try to do what you do to Nate Diaz. You let somebody like Shane Burgos go to PFL. It's showing that they aren't what they used to be. I said it when they sold. Zuffa sold and the Fertitta brothers left, that was going to hurt them on many different levels, having Dana doing all this stuff, and you're starting to see it.
Yeah,
Like
for sure. I
Dana can
mean,
only do so much, and then he's going to have a point where have people handle things, and things aren't going to get done the way they used to be, and you're starting to see a fall off on different levels, production levels, like how people look at the matchups that are being made. Or are you really seeing the number one contender fight the champion? Are you really seeing the top two contenders in each weight class fighting to see who's fighting the champion next? That doesn't really happen anymore, and that's why I think what PFL has done with the tournaments and the $1 million checks is great, not just for the athletes, but for get like looking what they're doing with their women's featherweight division. We just seen Amber LeBrock start some girl. She's been, kind of one of these prospects that should have been when the UFC had their women's featherweight division. Aspen Ladd never could really make the 135-pound weight limit there. She's in there now. They just brought in a girl here from Philly, Amanda Levy. She's an amazing grappler to test Kayla Harrison. The smartest thing that she did is not signing with the UFC, and her manager is the guy Ali, who has just about most of the big name guys that are guys or girls that are in combat sports these days. It's one of these things where I don't think they have the foothold. I think like going back to it, a lot of these things should find more avenues for you guys. Like all right, we have the UFC games, right? When we should start seeing some things where we're putting some things together with the rest of combat sports to get some of that stuff out there, not just for the athletes, so you guys can help market yourselves better, but so the fans can more engaged and to get kind of that thing that they want to make it easier to engage the sport, the athlete.
yeah, for sure. I mean, when it comes down to it, um, the UFC, a lot of fighters and young fighters are drawn to UFC um, for the popularity. Um, and as you get older and you do this a little bit more, you see all of the more mature fighters and older fighters that have been in it for a while. They're gravitating towards these other organizations because um, we don't care about being popular. We want to be in the situation where you can do things financially and make strides in that way. So I mean, that's kind of what it is. Even speaking to a lot of like younger, upcoming fighters, that's the main thing they want. They want the check mark by their name on their social media, and they want to be known as a UFC fighter. They don't care about um,
Silliest
the
thing.
financial sides of it. They want to be popular, man, and that's all it
Isn't
is.
that the
But
silliest thing?
yeah, they don't understand.
We value ourselves by if we have a check mark next to our name that means
Yeah,
nothing.
they just want to
That's
be
silly as crap.
verified, man. They just
Listen,
want to be
at
verified.
the end of the day, if I'm 20 20, 22, 23-year-old kid get into combat sports, the check mark would mean absolutely nothing to me. The fact that I would be either the best guy in my weight class, the world, whatever, and getting paid for my time in and out of the cage as I should probably be my number one and number two things outside of being healthy at the end of the day.
Yeah. I mean, I agree. But the more you talk to them, the more you see, man. They don't care.
I know that goes back to the other thing. So like that to the whole WWE UFC thing. It's going to bleed in, man.
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be interesting to see how all that stuff plays out. I don't see how it's gonna work, but I know it's something that's gonna happen as far as merging them together.
Just going back to what I was sitting there saying, Dana's got shareholders to answer for, so they want to see things that help make them money. Yeah, they just spent however much it took to buy the WWE, but
billions.
Now that those shareholders are going to see money from the WWE, and they have access to be able to have X thing with X athlete or X wrestler, whatever. That's all these people care about, man.
Yeah, it's not about the sport no more. It's just about entertaining.
And that's why I said they kind of fell off from it. Dana, his concern isn't the growth of MMA anymore. It's the growth of that company.
Yeah.
It stopped being the growth of MMA 5 years ago. I keep trying to tell everybody that. And that's not knocking Dana. That's not knocking. Hey, listen, he's done a lot of great things, but he can't do everything.
Right.
He's only one man at the end of the day.
And they're getting ready to come out with a boxing league too, from what I understand.
And let me ask you, when you heard about the slap league, did you not laugh?
Yeah, I mean, I've seen it on the internet before they had the league or whatever. But
when we were drunk, when we were teenagers or high school, college, whatever.
That's some brutal stuff. I couldn't. I'd rather get punched and slapped. I'll tell you that much. I couldn't let nobody slap me to sleep.
It goes against the main rule of combat sports: is intelligently defend yourself. You can't defend yourself.
Well, I
so
couldn't
it's not
do
slap
it.
boxing, is it not? It's I'm going to stand there and let someone slap me. That's not the same thing as slap boxing.
I couldn't do it. God, they'd be knocking the shit out of each other.
Right? Especially the big guys, man. Come on, man.
Fuck that.
Be like, if that's the case, I'm going first.
Yeah, I'll go first, and if you're still standing, I quit.
Every time I go first, the end. Because because at that point, if he can take my hand at that point, it's like fuck.
Yeah, I'm done after that. Like,
all right, he wins. I'm good. I tapped out. But I mean, it's just like I said, it just goes back into he's into entertainment now. It's not into the development of MMA, the development of combat sports. I mean, there's rumors that the whole Zuffa boxing thing is going to be coming back.
Yeah, I mean that's their plan. They're talking about they're going to make bring boxing back and make it entertaining again how it used to be. I mean, you never know. It could be different avenues of it, but at the same time, it's just like
it's like karate combat's been around for like 10 years. No one really knows about it, but they don't tell me they got some of the craziest knockouts you've ever seen in there. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I've seen some of those highlights too.
Exactly. I mean, I think everyone has their own. Even BKFC. They found their kind of home and niche now. You're starting to see a bunch of promotions pop up. We have 2 of them in Florida.
Yeah, BKFC and BYB.
Yeah, BYB Extreme. Yeah,
and then you got the
BYB overseas, which is basically partner company with BKFC now, and and I think we still have Valor over here. That's still out in the West Coast. They're getting ready to put together another show.
Yeah, I saw that.
And you still have Game Bread, who does his bare knuckle one every once in a while too.
Well, that's MMA though. That's bare knuckle MMA. That's, whew.
Now we were just talking about the slap boxing. Would you ever get to a point where you're gonna do? Would you do a bare knuckle event of any kind?
Man, if they paid me enough, I'd consider it. I wouldn't do it for no chump change because it's a different story getting hit with bare fist, man. I haven't been in a bare fist fight since what, high school maybe. So that's different right there.
And then you also got other promotions running around like street beefs where they let people
Yeah.
fight legally or put together, put their street stuff away and put together a fight. It's like, holy crap. We live in a strange world in combat sports these days, right?
Oh yeah, man. I mean,
Going back to the
everyone's
card
finding
thing,
their way.
yeah, the Hostile Bullet kid has got a card coming out, an autographed rookie card. I'm like, wait, rookie card? This guy's not even a fighter, and he
Who?
has a card from one of these companies.
Who'd you say?
That guy that recently signed with the UFC that's not a fighter, was it Hostile Bullet?
I don't even know who that is.
Oh man, hold on, let me pull it up here. See if you can see that.
Oh yeah. Okay.
So this is what I'm talking about, like about not knocking anyone's hustle or whatever. Props to him for getting him to do it, but he signed a contract with the UFC, not fighting. He has a card that's being as a signed thing as an insert for fans.
Yeah, man. It's
I
all
feel
it's
like
all
if
about
I'm a
popularity.
collector, I feel like I'm being robbed at that point in time. I'm not. Was that card gonna be worth $5 in like 10 years when no one cares about him?
Yeah, I mean, you never know. You never know. I mean, it's
I mean that's the draw you get when it comes to hobby collecting and things of that nature. But I mean, I couldn't imagine wanting to collect that card. Like, if I'm not outside of the UK area, obviously.
you never know. It might be a rare one. You might mess around and be sitting on some money over there.
Well, then he got in trouble this week for putting out a video of him beating up a cat.
Oh
You see that?
no.
Yeah, man. Hold on, let me pull this one up. So, he was gripping the cat up, smacking him, and whatever. I don't know. Like when you
What?
when
You get
you're
mad 'cause they're the same
basically
size, huh?
got your popularity based off of your friends with with a champion over there in the over over there, and you do something like that, it's kind of rough, man. You're gonna wear out yourself kind of fast, especially in the cancel culture we live in.
Yeah, for sure. He's gonna have all the animal conservatives
Oh yeah,
coming
well, I
after
mean,
him.
everyone was already up in arms about it as soon as he posted it. He posted some apology video, but like, dude, you're beating up a cat for no reason, dude. Stop.
Yeah.
Like, and you posted that. It's not like somebody else outed you and got a hold of it and posted it on you. You posted it on your own YouTube channel. Like, dude, what are you doing? But as we get ready to wrap things up, as we're at the 30-minute mark here, Rakim, gonna throw the proverbial microphone over you. Anyone you'd like to thank, training partners, teammates, shoot out those social media sites. Anything you're doing like outside of the combat sports world, you want to let the people know about. The time is yours, my friend.
Yeah, man. I'd like to thank all my sponsors and that supported me for my training camp, my upcoming fights. Um, Paris Valley, Kia out in California, Menus and More, Digital Design up in Iowa. Fighter Wave Jess makes all my fight gear for me, and definitely all my training partners over at War. Trevor, Miles, Anthony. Matter of fact, Anthony has a fight tonight. Um, up in Dallas. So I wish him good luck tonight. Man, I just thank all the people that looked after me, my coaches, my family for letting me still go out there and get beat up without complaining too much. And I look forward to the next.
Well, we're definitely looking forward to the next matchup for you, my friend. Got that big win. Hopefully, you can get one of these bigger names in that top 10, so you can start making some headway here in 2023. Hopefully, we can see you with a title fight, before the end of next year, man.
Yeah, man, I don't know what's next for me, but I definitely look forward to the next adventure and just keep going in the right direction. I just got to keep capitalizing off of big submission and just keep stringing together those finishes. I like not being in there for the whole entire fight. My last fight took too long.
Yeah, it's like the way the judging is in combat sports today. Rakim knows what it is. Can't let it go the whole
No,
15 minutes, the whole 25 minutes, whatever it happens to be. You cannot let the three stooges on the side of the cage define your fate.
yeah, 15 minutes too long anyway.
He's like, give me a 30-second fight, man. With my
Hey,
hand
that's
raised, it's a
perfect.
beautiful day.
That's perfect right there. You can't beat that in and out.
In and out, and back in the locker room, you didn't even break a sweat.
Oh yeah, the hardest thing you got to do is the warm up. I like those ones.
Yeah, man. Well, Rakim, really appreciate the time. Again, congratulations on the big win. Hopefully, like I said, you get some good news with a good opponent. Hopefully, get you in an extended contract so you know where you'll be the next few years, and you know doing your thing, man. Keep hammering away at them and letting them know who you are, my friend.
For sure. Thank you so much for having me.
It's always a pleasure, my friend. Appreciate the
Yeah.
time as always.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right, everyone. That was Rakim, the Boogeyman, Cleveland. Great guest tonight. Both Rakim, Gabby were awesome. Lots of crazy stuff been going on in the combat sports world. Uh, Loved their insights on everything kind of going on. With everything, both with Gabby and Rakim. Awesome stuff. Gabby's gonna obviously getting ready to make some more noise here in 2023. Rakim, coming off that big submission win, hopefully he gets some more good fights lined up for him before the end of 2023 in Bellator. Hopefully we can see him with a title fight by the end of next year. Like I said, it's kind of my aspirations for him at this point in time. But that being said, this should put a wrap on episode 29. Appreciate Gabby. Appreciate Rakim for the time this evening. Other than that, make sure you guys are back here for next week. Already got one of the fighters for the upcoming BKFC in South Carolina show will be on. So make sure you are tuned in, locked in, subscribed. We're going to be getting ready to do the 1K giveaway because we have hit 1K YouTube subscribers. So make sure you guys are checking everything out and showing us love on all the platforms, YouTube, TikTok, Twitter, Instagram. Type in, Belly Up Sports, type in Combat Deviants. Make sure you hit that like, subscribe button, and make sure you're locked in. Hopefully we will get another hardcore hobby talk show out next week, and got some fun stuff planned for everyone, for Combat Deviants, for Belly Up Sports, for our hobby fam. Make sure you're locked in, and we will keep pumping out the content as much as you keep tuning in, my fam. Catch you on the rebound.